Selling Lego can be a side hustle or a serious business, but where do you actually make the most profit? BrickLink, Vinted, eBay, your own webshop, or even a real-life physical Lego store? In episode 5 of this 7-episode series about how to be a Lego reseller, I'm breaking down all of them. The real fees, the pros, the cons, the seller security, and the truth about running your own store, both online and in real life. And I will give each one a safety score so you won't end up burned. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Stefan is the name and SV Brickshop is my game. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you are finding my content interesting, educational, or just having a laugh. Now let's get to that video. Let's start with the elephant in the room. If you want to take Lego reselling seriously, then there are two platforms that stand out, which is BrickLink and BrickOwl. The pros? These platforms are the go-to places for the Lego focused buyer base. They specialize in the selling of separate Lego parts, minifigs and sets being either used or new. The selling fees are moderately low, as you only pay a fee to the platforms depending on the value you earn with the sales you accrued over a month, not counting the PayPal fees, which is approximately 3% plus cents, but you can mitigate those by calculating them or not in your shipping fees. Most BrickLink sellers tend to carry the PayPal fees, as their opinion is that their buyers should not be charged with their business cost, but to each their own. Just for your information, I don't charge the PayPal or any other payment fees either. Just for the record. Your shop will immediately be exposed to the BrickLink or the BrickOwl buying market, even without a stable seller's reputation, although it certainly helps. Positive reviews are crucial, and you would go out of your way to keep that rating at 100%, boys and girls. On BrickLink and BrickOwl, the majority of the customers are not searching by store, but instead they search for availability and economical pricing and shipping. So the more parts and diversity you have, the bigger the chances are that the buyer will order from your store. Because even if your prices might be higher than someone else's, you are at that moment a one-stop shop for that person. The downside of BrickLink and BrickOwl is the technical side on the setup. BrickOwl is much easier than BrickLink, but it takes still some know-how and patience to get everything down to a T, especially because you have to manually set up your shipping policies, and there will be no casual traffic. These platforms aren't shopping malls where you can do some window shopping. The only exposure your shop will be getting is based on the diversity and portfolio you have and the needs of your buyers. All in all, the safety on BrickLink as well as BrickOwl is quite good. There are a lot of warnings in place that to protect buyer and seller alike, and there is also the possibility that admins step in to settle any kind of dispute where needed, if you have the necessary patience. I give both platforms an 8 out of 10. So the monthly fee of approximately 3% depending on the sold value of your items and if a certain threshold has been exceeded or not. eBay is the go-to platform to sell sealed and used sets, minifigs and custom bundles. The pros? The reach is worldwide, depending on your settings. You can set your own prices or even create auctions where people can bid on your items, where you can potentially maximize your profits. The downside of eBay, or one of the downsides of eBay, is they charge high fees, even up to more than 10% on the sold item. They are also prone to chargebacks and returns. Unfortunately, the eBay system is heavily in favor of the buyer and not so much of the seller. Also, the amount of sales you get heavily depends on the quality of your listings. This means high quality pictures, a thorough description of the condition of the item, but also decent terms and conditions whereunder you are selling. And don't forget to mention what kind of shipping policies you will be maintaining on eBay. Although eBay is one of the most recognized platforms out there, I would advise caution, especially if you're a newbie on this platform. I give this a 6 out of 10. As mentioned before, the fees on eBay can rack up to 10 to 13% of the total cost of the sold item, including the shipping. Now, Vinted is mostly a European app that was created to sell second-hand clothing. During the time it existed, a lot more items were added, including Lego. Vinted is an awesome platform for Lego in bulk. It's also a fast-track app providing numerous of benefits for both sellers and buyers alike. It's easy to use. It provides additional security, as in the buyer has X amounts of time to pay for the item, and only then the seller can do its part to state the shipping details. Listing or selling on Vinted is completely free. Because Vinted is a European app mostly, it is limited to a select amount of countries. And don't expect premium prices for your Lego. So low value because it's a clothing app. Don't expect to rack up high prices or sell at a premium. Despite being mainly a clothing app, Vinted has some decent security measures in place, and in some cases even better than the high-profile ones. I give this an 8 out of 10. For the cost, as mentioned before, Vinted does not carry extra costs. Facebook Marketplace, Tweedehands, Marktplaats and Kleinanzeigen, to mention a couple of them, may be a bit unfamiliar to those not indigenous to the country, except Facebook Marketplace, of course, everybody knows that, but rest assured that these platforms often hold a lot of sales. Although these are mostly platforms resembling the country that they are based, there are some serious benefits for buyers and sellers alike. In a Lego perspective, these platforms are mostly used to sell either sealed or used sets and Lego in bulk, but also with a whiff of battalions of used minifigs. On these platforms you can set your own prices. You are not bound to market to get sales. And also a great pro is negotiating. One of the best features on these platforms. I have given these tips before in a previous video, but as a general rule of thumb, set your prices 25% higher than what you want to get for them. A determined buyer will start haggling with you, and the surplus you calculated will give you the margin to get your price, and your buyer is convinced he got you beat. Both parties happy, he gets a premium quality item and you get premium quality payday. That's how we roll, boys and girls. Also, a big advantage on these platforms is the buyer can be very close to you. This means you can rule out the shipping cost and add in a cash payment, and even potential after-sale briefing can be avoided, as they are able to inspect the item themselves on pick. All these platforms require no real validation, so every account that contacts you might be legit, but can also be a scammer. Also, always be on your guard. When things go south, don't expect the platform to help you. If it's gone, it's gone. And the old truth, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. I know, all that glitters is gold, but 9 times out of 10, it really is not. So my philosophy, and this helped me a lot in the past and even now, if someone wants to buy your stuff and he doesn't discuss your price, be aware, be very aware. These online marketplaces have a whole lot of potential, but for the unexperienced they can be death traps with any form of reconciliation. I give these a 4 to 5 out of 10. For the cost, no extra cost apply unless you pay on the platforms to get extra exposure or visibility of your ads. Here we go, boys and girls. This is where it gets exciting. Opening a shop on BrickLink or BrickOwl is for kids. On my platform, I make my prices, I make my own rules, I make my own terms. This is my house. Or is it? The pros of a custom branded Lego webshop is you have full control over your product, your advertising and your customer data, as long as it's conformed with the GDPR legislation. You have the ability to grow a stable standing brand within your area of expertise, and you will have 0 selling fees other than the ordinary that you are having now. The webshop can be based off of standing platforms like Shopify or WooCommerce, so you don't have to start from scratch. As it is your own custom brand, it is very difficult to gain traction as a legitimate seller because no one knows you. Hence, no one knows you, no one trusts you. This will result in low or no sales, and you will have inventory issues. So selling item A on your BrickLink store will not automatically remove the item or on time on your personal platform. So you will definitely need a decent API configuration as it will solve it, but is also prone to a large technical know-how and the refresh rates on the inventory on your store. A custom-made platform can be equipped with all the necessary security measures already in place, but they are not standard in most of the cases, so expect a cost on this. I give this a 7 out of 10, but this can be higher as well, depending on what the possibilities you are willing to incorporate in your security to keep it safe. A custom branded Lego webshop does not come without any cost. So first of all, the domain name, which is moderate, will be around 15 to 20 euros per year, depending on the domain extension. Then you have the hosting. Expect an average of 50 euros per month, depending on the services you are getting. Then you have your email tools, your payment tools, your plugins or your themes on your website. 50 euros per month, but could be more depending on the amount of sales. So every sale adds to the cost that you will have on the payment platform, such as PayPal or Stripe or whatever. It all comes with a cost. And don't forget, the time investment will be high. Here we have it, guys, the holy grail for us Lego resellers. Let's talk real brick and mortar here. Opening a physical Lego store is a whole different game. It comes with high risk, high cost, but also a massive community opportunity. So the pros, you are in control. You can open up whenever you want, host or participate in events, do workshops, set your own pricing. Also, having a physical store means that to have close regulars. You are sparking interest, people want to know what you have in your store. Also, you have the chance to display your most prized sets and minifigs, often at a premium price. Also, a big advantage is the mouth-to-mouth marketing. A happy customer will tell his findings to his friends, broadening your customer base. And just an idea, but don't limit yourself to Lego. Expand to alternatives as in, I don't know, a TCG, as in Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, or board style games like Warhammer 40k. Optional, you can host player nights to expand on potential sales and mouth-to-mouth advertising. A physical branded Lego store is not possible if you are doing this part-time. It comes with a very high investment cost. And you can't forget that this will change your life. It is no longer a hobby, it will be a full-time job. So digitally, you are solid. Nothing special will go on as the platforms you will use are foreseen for the most standard security policies. However, the threats that you will have will be more of a physical nature. I'm talking about theft, damages and so on. I scale this option to 6 out of 10.
Nice.
Now let's talk cost. Let's start off with the property rent, which can be between 600 if you are a very small store, up to 2,000 euros and more per month. Next is the utilities, insurances. I'm thinking about 500 euros a month or more. Then we have procurement, so buying new sales goods. If business is going good, I don't know, 5k a month, 7k a month. Then we're gonna talk about staff. If you hired personnel, that is. Per person, you gotta calculate 1,500 to 2,000 euros per month. And I'm not calculating social security, pension or other social benefits, so this can rack up pretty fast. And the next one, also not to be underestimated, is the marketing, the workshops that you will host, the advertising for your store, for your product. 600 a month, maybe more, probably more. And last but not least, the investment or the cost of personal time, which will be infinite. You will spend more time in your store or working on your store than you will be at home. Yes, exactly, just like a full-time job. All in all, the platforms and methods I talked about in this video solely depend on what kind of Lego seller you are. If you are mainly flipping sets or minifigs, go with Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Just make sure you do your due diligence and cover yourself when you do. If you are a part-time seller on minifigs and parts, Go with BrickLink and BrickOwl. Use the Brick Freedom to sync your inventories and order picking, and you will never have an issue. And if you aim to go full-time in the Lego reselling, go with eBay for sets, minifigs and bulk. Go for the assorted parts on BrickLink and BrickOwl, but make sure that you get your inventory synchronization up and running, or you will have a lot of time on your hands to do it manually. No one wants negative reviews on any platform. And lastly, if you're going for the full-time physical store, God be with you. And every single one of us will be praying for you to be successful, because you, sir or madam, are doing something you all want to do but didn't have the balls for. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Every Lego reselling channel has its trade-offs. It's up to you to decide which one is the best for you. You are in control. You are making the decisions, and you will decide what the result will be. And that concludes this video. I hope you all enjoyed episode 5 of our 7-episode series about how to start a Lego reselling business. If you do, then please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And drop me a comment down below how you are or would be managing your business. Thanks all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.